Well, Seminole Nation is invading the West Coast. Tons of garnet and gold is all over Southern California. Eyewitness sports reporter Jason Kahn joins us live from Pasadena. Jason.
You're absolutely right. Seminole Nation has clearly invaded the West Coast, as you can see here. Keep it up, guys. Let's keep it going. There we go. We are less than 3 hours away from kickoff of the national championship game. Top-ranked Florida State and number 2 Auburn. People clearly tailgating, as you can see, not just these people right here, but there are a lot of Seminole fans right behind me. Some Seminole fans live right here in California, while others have come hundreds, thousands of miles away for this game. The war chant lives in Pasadena until at least the end of the day.
It's very exciting. I'd like to see as many Seminoles in the stadium as possible.
Dolores and Keith Downing have lived in Tallahassee for about 40 years. Die-hard FSU fans, proof by their 1993 national championship watches. And yes, they did attend that game, and they expect the same result in this one.
Defense, offense, coaching, the ability to win, and the number of points that we put up on opponents.
Dolores is not speaking for, but speaking with Seminole Nation.
They say Alabama was good. We're great. 34-13 tomorrow night. Go Noles!
We have waited so long, it seems like.
Bobby Warren has lived in Tallahassee all of her life. Her husband George for at least the past 4 decades. And they can't wait to witness a potential 3rd national title.
You'll see me crying because there will be tears of joy.
Now, it is the first day of classes at Florida State, right? Well, yesterday I caught up with a professor who actually is taking a little grace period, some time off, so she can see this exact game. We'll hear more from the Seminoles coming up, live from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. I'm Jason Kahn with all these fans. Eyewitness Sports.
All right, good stuff. Thanks a lot, Jason.
Live coverage from California. Jason Kahn joins us live now with some special Seminoles. Jason?
Hey everyone, there's no better place to be right now than Pasadena, California. We are less than 24 hours from kickoff for the national championship game. Top-ranked Florida State and number 2 Auburn. But right now the place to be is the Pasadena Convention Center, where the celebs are walking the red carpet for tonight's party. And joining me to my right now is former Seminole, maybe one of the biggest celebs out of the 2 celebs that I have next to me, Lorenzo Booker. Now, Lorenzo, you've had a chance to see Florida State all year. What do you think of the Seminoles going into this game?
Oh, they look outstanding. It's really hard to find a weakness. The secondary, the front 7, and offensively, I mean, Jameis is obviously amazing, the most amazing freshman I've seen. But, Kelvin and Rashad, again, it's hard to find a weakness with those guys, and that high-powered offense, I think, is one of the best I've ever seen.
So is this the best team you've seen from Florida State?
They have an argument. I mean, I love that 99 team, and the 93 team was excellent. And there are teams like 88, with Deion Sanders and those guys, and that were just as good, that just didn't win a national championship. But they've got a darn good argument. I don't know if it's the best, but I wouldn't argue it with somebody if they said it was.
All right, so give me your prediction for tomorrow night. Can't leave you without a prediction.
I'm going to say Florida State 42-28, and that last touchdown that puts it up to 14 comes late by Auburn.
Wow, okay, so he gives them the 2-touchdown win. Now, turning to my left, I have another Florida State Seminole. Again, one of the 2 big celebs here besides Lorenzo Booker, Leon Washington, currently in the NFL, along with Lorenzo. Now, Leon, again, what do you think about this game, Florida State and Auburn tomorrow night?
Well, I think it's a really good matchup. I think it's a great opportunity for Florida State, and not only for Florida State, for the ACC to go out and try to prove themselves against the big dog, the SEC. So, as a Florida State alum, I want Alabama. I really want Alabama. But we got Auburn, so it gives us the opportunity to go out there and kind of prove ourselves. I think we're ready. You can see the focus in the guys from practice the other day, so it should be exciting.
All right, so I'm being told we are short on time right here, so I need a prediction from you, Leon.
Oh, yeah, 42-24, Florida State all the way. It's going to be a pretty good game. We're going to cover. And, we're going to do our thing.
All right, so 2 Seminoles, as expected, picking Florida State to beat Auburn tomorrow night in the national championship. Live in Pasadena, California, I'm Jason Kahn, WCTV Eyewitness News.
Florida State Seminoles have won 44 games in the past 4 years, all under head coach Jimbo Fisher. and the seniors have been there, of course, every step of the way.
Of course, they're hoping to get win number 45 with a national championship. Eyewitness Sports reporter Jason Kahn has been with the team all week. He joins us now live from Newport Beach, California. Jason.
Hey everyone, I'm at the pier in Balboa Island in Newport Beach, California. People around here sailing around with their yachts and their boats. Perhaps a metaphor for the Noles sailing off with their first national title in 13 years. I don't know, but you did mention that senior class, and perhaps two of those upperclassmen could be the reason for the Seminoles' 13-0 record this year. LaMarcus Joyner and Christian Jones were left with a difficult decision last year: return to school or declare for the NFL draft. Seems like they made the right choice. LaMarcus Joyner and Christian Jones may be enjoying practice in California more than anyone else.
We've been in games in the past that we had to fight to win.
A long-lost memory for Jones, who along with his defensive teammate Joyner is running after perfection. A decision to return to school for their senior seasons is a big hit.
Even to now looking back, it's crazy. I knew when I decided I was coming back that we had a good group of guys coming back, so that kind of got me excited about this whole process.
And now those two veterans are telling the younger draft eligible players about that process.
I've been in their shoes before, and I believe in that you shouldn't rush anything in life. I mean, do the best you can and let the chips fall where they may.
The chips have fallen in Pasadena for Joyner and Jones. The final and biggest stage of their college careers, a game against Auburn they know will come down to the defense.
We try to make games physical. That's the first thing we talk about going to games. We want to, be the team that punches the other team in the mouth. So I think it's going to be a real clash of the Titans there.
Joyner is second on the team in tackles with 64, and he tied a school record and could break in the national championship game with 5 sacks for a defensive back. Jones has 49 tackles and 2 sacks. So those two, to say the least, are very important to the Seminoles, and they could be very important in the national championship game. We'll have more on the Seminoles coming up. Live in Newport Beach, California, I'm Jason Kahn, WCTV Eyewitness News.
All right, thanks, Jason, and enjoy Balboa Island.
It's been 123 days since Florida State opened the 2013 season.
Wow, that went by quick.
Yeah.
Well, now the top-ranked and undefeated Seminoles are 2 days from playing for a national championship. Eyewitness Sports reporter Jason Kahn joins us from FSU's practice. Jason.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Costa Mesa, California. In case you missed it, this is where Florida State is practicing. They're practicing right behind me through that fenced-in area right now. We were there for the first 15 minutes of practice. The rest of practice is closed to the media and the rest of the public. We will hear from Jimbo Fisher afterwards. But we did hear from Jameis Winston for the first time since we've been out here. Winston trying to close a storybook season. Of course, this season not coming without challenges, including clearing his name in the sexual assault investigation. But now that is behind him. Of course, the freshman Heisman Trophy winning quarterback will be facing a team from his home state of Alabama. The Auburn Tigers also extra special because it will be his birthday on January 6th. Again, his stats were remarkable. He's thrown for more than 3,800 passing yards, including 38 passing touchdowns. Winston could become the first
With a victory.
Now, Winston really showed off his personality at the press conference earlier this morning. He told us a story about going to Dave & Buster's with teammate wide receiver Kenny Shaw. A random fan, came up to Kenny and told him, "Congratulations on winning the Heisman." Winston laughed, looked over at Shaw, and said, "Let me see if I get this story right. You did win the Heisman." It's just an example of Winston's selflessness all season long. And, of course, his main goal has been to win a national championship. And, of course, they will find out on Monday, January 6, 8:30 Eastern Time, if they can make that happen. We will hear more from the Seminoles coming up. Live in Costa Mesa, California, I'm Jason Kahn, WCTV Eyewitness News.
We're all counting down the days until the BCS National Championship game. The #1 Florida State Seminoles practicing right now in California. That's where we find Eyewitness News reporter, sports reporter Jason Kahn. Jason, how's it going out there?
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Costa Mesa, California. Now, in case you missed it, this is the site where Florida State is practicing. Actually, we were there for the first 15 minutes of practice, and they're practicing right behind us right now, but the rest of practice is closed to the media and the public. Now, in case you're wondering exactly where we are in Costa Mesa, we are across the street from Orange Coast College. This is Florida State's third practice on the West Coast. They will be holding their final full practice tomorrow, followed by a walkthrough on Sunday, and then 8:30 Eastern Time on Monday, January 6th, the national championship game. Now, we talked to ESPN college football experts this morning. They met with the media. Former Heisman winner Desmond Howard of College Game Day, NFL draft guru Todd McShay. Yesterday, we talked to former NFL quarterback Brian Griese. Florida State may be an 8-point favorite against Auburn, but the experts do not see it that way.
To me, it's all about matchups. You know, I'm a boxing fan. I love boxing. And the one thing that you hear about boxing is styles make fights. Same.
We heard from the Florida State offense for the first time today, including Heisman Trophy winning quarterback Jameis Winston. We'll hear more from the Seminoles coming up. Live in Costa Mesa, California, I'm Jason Kahn, WCTV Eyewitness News.
All right, good stuff. Thanks a lot, Jason. And the
And speaking of food, you've got to go to a dinner banquet tonight.
That's right. After a hard day's work, they actually got to treat themselves to some prime beef. They had their team dinner at Lowry's Beef Bowl here in Newport Beach, but some of the players actually may have had to scale back.
They're always ready to eat.
FSU's next opponent, their team dinner. While they'd like to cut up Auburn on Monday, they were served a meal that perhaps could taste just as sweet as a national championship.
At this point in the season, a lot of them really know the do's and don'ts, and so, you know, this is that week where they have to be dialed in, and they pretty much know that. But I do, you know, there's always the little reminders where I'll see them at breakfast and be like, hey, what are you doing today?
That's Kristen Gravani, the team's nutritionist. She admits it's hard to keep tabs on what every player is eating, but she expects them to make the right decision.
I'm not the food police, but I am there to structure it for them when they need it. So all the food that I know they're getting, you know, it's all healthy stuff.
Even if Chef Jameis Winston is helping to put that food in their stomachs, they may have to make up for it in practice.
I might have to run him a little more.
And you know they'll be hearing from Gravani too, because she knows the Noles are hungry for a title.
There's a saying, and it's that, you know, nutrition won't win you a gold medal or win you the championship, but it can definitely get in the way of doing that.
Well, I really do hope that her words of advice do work in the national title game. Gravani does tell me, Jason, that she has spent, and the team has spent, thousands of dollars more during this week in the national championship than they did last year during Orange.
Well, and Eyewitness Sports reporter Jason Kahn joins us now live with FSU Athletic Director Stan Wilcox. Jason.
Hey everyone again, and welcome to Costa Mesa, California. We are across the street from Orange Coast College. The Florida State football team is practicing right behind us right now, and we will hear from Jimbo Fisher later tonight. But joining me is FSU Athletics Director Stan Wilcox. Now, Stan, you are a lucky man. In your first year, the Florida State women's soccer team goes to the national championship. And now the Florida State football team is playing for a national championship. What does this mean for the FSU Athletics program?
Oh, it means a great deal. It means that we have our fans, our student athletes, our administration, all behind our teams. And you know, athletics is a way to bring the family together in a sense. And whenever you get on the national stage, you bring the family together from all across the country. And obviously, when our women went to the championship in soccer, you know, we had fans from all over to come and watch them play. And now that we're in the national championship in football, we have the same thing. And so it really is a way to rally all the FSU faithful together.
So what is it like for you in your first year to see all this happen?
Oh, it's fabulous. You know, for me, you know, having a great time. You know, the thing that really that I really like is, number one, is the student athletes. They get a great experience out of this, because that's what they work for on a day-to-day basis and practice every day. They are looking to participate in national championships, and it's something that'll stay with them for a lifetime, and it's an experience that, many people just don't get that opportunity. And so I love that fact that our kids are getting that opportunity.
All right, Jimbo Fisher also signs a 5-year contract extension. So what is it like, and what does it mean for the athletics program just to have Coach show his support and be here for another 5 years?
Oh, it's, again, the word I use is fabulous, because that means that we're going to be stable and we're going to be moving into the future with a great football coach who's already built a great football program, and we're looking to continue the success that we've been having. And the only way you can do that is by having stability, and hopefully this will bring the stability that we need to keep going the way that we are.
The last thing I'm going to ask you, what are your plans this week in California? Are you going to be doing any surfing here?
Well, I've told everybody, they asked me about, what's it like my first year, and I told them I caught the big wave at Hawaii, and I'm just trying to ride it to shore. So I may have to go out there and try my hand since things have been going so well for me so far.
All right, Stan, thank you so much for joining us here. And, of course, we will have more from the Florida State Seminoles after practice. Make sure you stick with us in sports at 6. Live from Costa Mesa, California, I'm Jason Kahn, WCTV Eyewitness News.
All right.
Eyewitness sports reporter Jason Kahn kicks off our live team coverage from Costa Mesa, California. Jason?
Hey, everyone, and thanks for joining me for another beautiful day in sunny California. Can't complain about this weather in early January, right? I love it. But the sun shining down on FSU right now as they practice. Right behind me, we are across the street from Orange Coast College. And right now, FSU hard at practice. The last time we saw FSU at practice was on Sunday of this week back in Tallahassee. We will hear from Jimbo Fisher after practice today, and we'll make sure we get that to you later tonight. But this morning, starting at 8 a.m. Pacific time, we heard from the Florida State defense about their prep for Auburn. And one of the guys on defense we heard from was starting defensive tackle Timmy Jernigan. Last year, after FSU's win in the Orange Bowl, he turned to our camera and guaranteed, he declared the Seminoles will be playing for a national championship this season. Here's what made him so confident.
The leadership that I knew was going to be in place, I knew it was my turn to step up and be a leader. Guys just bought in over the summer, over the spring, to the workouts, to the meetings. Guys just spending time together off the field. You never really see one of us by ourselves. You're always going to see a group of at least 4 or more. You see defensive linemen hanging out with receivers. You don't really see that on other teams. I knew that something special was about to happen.
Well, something special definitely did happen, and we'll see if they can take that all the way to the national championship. We'll hear more from the Seminoles later in sports. Live in Costa Mesa, California, I'm Jason Kahn, WCTV Eyewitness News.
All right, thanks, Jason. The clock keeps ticking, and we're in the...
Hey, everyone, and welcome to Pasadena, California. As you mentioned, James, we are less than 24 hours from kickoff right now, and this is the place to be. We are right across the street from the famous Rose Bowl. Hopefully you get a good view of it in my shot. Now, the Seminoles went through their final practice of the football season, a walkthrough for the national championship game. And yes, we did speak with head coach Jimbo Fisher earlier this morning. And oh, by the way, I have his 5-year contract in my hands, at least the terms of it anyway. It is a base salary of $4.1 million annually. So I guess you can squash those rumors about Texas, especially now that Louisville's Charlie Strong is taking over as the next Longhorn. And Jimbo Fisher was actually discussing Strong at his press conference earlier this morning. Fisher, of course, was a coordinator at Florida State, while Strong was a defensive coordinator 4 years ago for Florida. That is about the same time that Fisher took over the Florida State program as head coach. Now, obviously, with the national championship coming up, Jimbo Fisher was discussing all sorts of things at today's press conference, but Fisher was talking about his timetable for trying to get this team to a national championship. He didn't expect it to come this soon, but he did want to at least be competing for some sort of title.
It's right on schedule for where I wanted to be, hopefully by our first senior class, that we were one of the teams, if we weren't in it, that you would be talking about being in it or having an opportunity to be in it or playing in a major bowl game and competing year in, year out. And that's kind of the timeline we had set in which we needed to be.
And while the Seminoles try to write the final chapter to their storybook year, the best story and maybe the most interesting story is not wearing garnet and gold. Melvin Ray is one of 3 Tallahassee natives who plays for Auburn, but how he got there is far from simple.
My game, coming back to college football is definitely a different kind of story. It's like a whole new chapter.
Melvin Ray blends in with his Auburn teammates almost seamlessly. But the Tallahassee native's journey to donning the orange and blue is deeper than any of these players will ever know.
Every team, just everything I've been somewhat involved in, interested in, has all kind of come together in some kind of way.
5 years ago, Ray was a highly recruited wide receiver out of North Florida Christian. He signed with Alabama. But the relative of Jackie Robinson also excelled on the diamond, drafted in the 33rd round by, coincidentally, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Ray chose baseball.
At that moment in time, I did it for myself. I also did it because, I was ready to make my family proud, and I knew my dad would have loved it.
After 3 years in the minor leagues, Ray came back home for good, initially expecting to walk on to the FSU football team.
I just felt like it was time for me to start somewhere else fresh, and why not start with the team that I grew up loving with a passion, which is Florida State.
But Ray didn't think FSU was the right fit.
Auburn was never even really an option for me. Didn't even take time out to look at it, but when I decided to come over and check it out, I realized that I would have made a huge mistake by not coming to Auburn University.
2 years after making that decision, the sophomore is staring at FSU from another sideline. The team he loves standing in between him and the crystal ball.
I grew up in just going to Doak Campbell every Saturday. It's almost like, it's unbelievable at this moment, to be honest with you. Winning this national championship and bringing it back to Tallahassee, I don't think I can stop letting everybody know that I won a national championship. I mean, Tallahassee's going to know it.
Well, now, Ray has played in just about every single game this year for Auburn. He plays mostly on special teams, but he did have a chance to start at wideout earlier this year. He has 4 catches for 58 yards. Now, if Ray hits the field, the Seminoles will be all over him right there in the Rose Bowl. The Seminoles have the best pass defense in the country. We'll hear more from head coach Jimbo Fisher and the Seminoles, and we will also be talking with one former Nole who played for the 1999 National Championship team live right here in Pasadena. Live in Pasadena, California, I'm Jason Kahn, WCTV Eyewitness News.
Champions, the 34-31 win against Auburn contains a deeper meaning for some FSU players and coaches.
Eyewitness Sports reporter Jason Kahn was on the field after the game.
They're no longer riding the coattails of the SEC. The Florida State Seminoles are national champions with a win against Auburn right here in the Rose Bowl. You could see it on their faces, you could see it on this field, and you can see it in this paper. The national championship is coming back to Tallahassee. Tears of joy. A release of unfiltered passion pouring onto the field at the Rose Bowl.
It's amazing, man. It's been crazy, man. Just all the hard work we went through just to get to this point now, it's crazy. I can't even express how I feel right now, man.
It's even a word made for how happy I am, man. I'm so excited. I'm lost for words, and I mean, go Noles.
30, 40, Dale.
The final chapter to a 14-0 season ended like this.
Zone, jump ball, touchdown!
I'm just so excited for our guys, man. It's not really about me. It's about them. I mean, and all I can say now is we're champions.
And in only his 4th season as head coach, what this means for Jimbo Fisher.
I'm just happy right now for our players and our assistant coaches and our fans. I mean, that's that's for down the road. We'll think about that, and in years later on. But I don't try to live like that. In 2 days, I want to get ready to go win another one.
But this will be the last one for seniors like Terrence Brooks, walking through the tunnel with a 45-win career.
Getting to be with these boys every day and just grinding and being in the heat and stuff, I mean, that's what we live for, man. I'm just lost right now. I can't even take it.
And the celebration extended to the locker room. The Florida State Seminoles will arrive at Doak Campbell Stadium between 7:30 and 8 o'clock on Tuesday night. In Pasadena, California, from the Rose Bowl, I'm Jason Kahn, WCTV Eyewitness News.